Alright, lesson 8. Direct Petroleum Pilferage Control Program. Introduction. Allow for the government property will continue with increase the unless the prevention measure of the take of the some of the situation required with the revamp of the security system while others may require the only re-educate for the facility the personnel the best and for the loss prevention to stop the pilferage before it starts. Identify the common type of the pilferage, and even the desire of the existing opportunity to present with the almost sure with the result of the pilferage or pilfer with the pilfer or with the use of the meaning of the steal of the theft of the larceny or similar items that protect for the property that include the preventing of the pilferage of the government supply equipment that usually own the primary function for the military police, the civil services sources, consider the following type of the pilferage. If its own items concealed with the person with its own items concealed with the automobile pilferage, shipped with the receiver through the two or more of the fraud parts of the friction invoice if to remove the property tanker truck with the falls bottom of the pilferage of the prior trash for disposal, the solve the disposal the activity to hide the property items over the fence to be retrieved later. Pilferage plan with the security of the personnel with the remove the item of the vehicle belonging to outside the containers and the vendors. Part B, the two types of the pilfers. Casual pilfers steal their primarily because of the he or she is unable to resist the temptation, unspoken the opportunity to leave the fear with the detection, unusual, little, with no planning involved, no more acts alone. It takes the item of the winner, he or she with no immediate need, therefore is able to use the take items of the family to frame of the use around the home. Take the degree of the risk and cause of the pilfer is normally slight with a very large number of the person involved. The casual pilfer is curved whenever the individual fleet without any even desire of the current action, the opportunity to take the provider with the poor security measures. The casual pilfer is very serious if it becomes the widespread, especially with the stolen item with the high cap of the potential value of the casual pilfer. It's normally employed with the installation usually are most of the difficult to detect and apprehend. Systematic pilferage of the seal in accord with the preconceived plan with the seal of the any and all type of the supply with the sale of the cash or barter with the other available desirable commodity. Similar systematic pilferage of the seal of the monetary with the gain with their act with the premeditated they may have, they may or not be employed with the installation working with another person with a well organized group with make with a cleaning team and even with the advantages position to locate the adversely can control desire to remove them from the storage area. Maybe the one time of the current such accident may be extended over the period of months of the year with a large quantity of the supply with the greater the value that may be lost to groups. Part C, the control measures. Casual pilferage is the most practical, the effective method of the casual control of casual pilferage is through psychological deterrence. Psychological deterrence search of the individual vehicles, leaving the installation on announced time of the person and place of the conduct. The spot search of the camera must be taken to ensure that the personnel are not demoralized, not legal. The rights for the violated the operate the physical control of the unethical security practice. The aggressive security education program is important that all the employees must realize the pilferage is morally wrong, no matter how insignificant the value of the item taken. It is up to set up the proper example that all the employees must be impressed with the fact that they are responsible to report any loss of the property authorities. Inventory control measure for the touch of the identification of the tools and equipment should be instituted with the account of the all material supply of the equipment. Do not lose sight of the fact that through the most of the employees are honest and disapprove of the thievery. Systematic pilferage. Control the measure must be taken to prevent systematic behavior in order to ensure the effective pilferage with control throughout the facility. You must eliminate potential thieves during the high procedure with a careful screen with the observation and the high and by and establishing customer notification inside of the facility must establish the effective key of the control system, the effect of the package and material control system, and advisable to install the mechanical electrical devices, including the appropriate perimeter of the fencing, lighting, parking facilities, effective pedestrian railways, vehicle gate security control with the order to establish security surveillance of all exists. Security can also be increased by establishing adequate security patrols, checking the building grounds parameter if you like, the location for the maybe even the storage bill for dive. With additional, you may locate with the parking with the area of the private vehicles outside of the perimeter fencing with the activity event with the law investigating quickly and effectively. In all cases, develop the local standardization procedure according to the security requirement to implement the standard authorization procedure as soon as possible to prevent pilferage at the facility. Part D, identifying opportunity to pilferage and security that has opportunity to pilferage with the present with the supply with the beings of transport with the trucks and train plane with the ship with the greatest vulnerability, the widest variety of the opportunity to cover the various points over the supply with the transport of one mean with the transportation, another the warm the store with the transportation, vice versa, monitor pump pressure, gauge of fluctuation, non-operating pressure for the Aipd, indicate the pilferage in the pipeline, petroleum pipelines present the unique set of the security problems, establish the pipeline patrol with the look for loose and flange belt, the coupling on the pipeline hole with the dug and under the pipeline hose line, the holes cover into the house line, watch for the sabotage of looking over the open pipe with the cutting lines of fire hoses and explosive charges. Part E, set up the checkpoint inspection. The orderly system of the must be checkpoint examine the driver, the help of the passenger vehicle contained with the travel security log contained with the date with the operative the name description, load the type of the engine for the time of the departure. The establish the seal log with all the goods, leave the facility, the verifier, the seal, the name of the shipping document, examine the seal for signing of the tampering. Lesson 9, Petroleum Math for the NTO.